Hey, Kavika. There you go. Oh, you're on mute, Kavika.
I was apologizing, saying sorry, guys. I just tried moving to the other end of the house at my in-laws' house. I think I'm closer to the Wi-Fi. There's a 2-year-old that's running around on this side. That's why I was in the back room. So bear with me if he ends up trying to get my attention and I stop. All right, so we took a break. What is that? 2 minutes, 36. The internet went down. Now 1:38. Internet's back up. We're resuming the meeting with the presence of all six. Oh, is Wolfark? He's around there. Although we do have 5. There he is. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Sorry, and thank you for your patience. Where were we?
Jeff, giving an update on the finances.
Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry, thank you.
So I don't know if I'm going to be repetitive or not, but I was talking about how the prior year expenditures are being applied to the current fiscal year. So that's $3,085 that's being subtracted from $16,000 because they were not submitted in time. And even though they were spent in time, apparently, but they were not submitted, and the state has communicated to us that they're very strict about it. So that being said, we have about $13,000 to work through. We can do it. I reworked through the budget. There's a few things though that I just wanted to bring up.
Before we move on to that, let's kind of backtrack if you don't mind. Or can I ask a question or shall I wait?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I think we need to, I'm thinking Memori as a representative of DHS and then trying to work with Henny. I think it's important for us to try and clearly understand what the expectations are moving forward with this year. I will express, I was super frustrated to find this information out yesterday because both expenses of the purchase of the trophies, which was purchased on, was paid for by the DHS P card. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. I mean, Memori, so I'm gonna share this. Yeah. The payment was made towards the trophies on June 11th. It was confirmed, and then I got an email confirmation from Henny that the payment was made on June 11th. Also, I submitted the receipts early on in June. I think Anthony and I purchased the items from Lowe's, and so I submitted the receipt the following week and got confirmation that it was submitted. And so when you talk about encumber, I thought that would take care of DHS finances, making sure that that gets allocated. So to hear that that was not posted, wasn't posted until July for the trophies, and then October for the 2,000 donation towards MFSS was super frustrating, especially because our budget has been cut, this year. Yeah. So I was just wondering if you had any input, if you are aware of the situation. And then the third piece is how can we prevent this from happening next year?
I'm not sure if that was a general question.
That's Memori question.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you. A question to Memori, rather.
So I'm not aware, I wasn't aware of that. But generally speaking, as I mentioned at the last meeting, it's always best to start encumbrance earlier than June because the state fiscal year ends as of June 30. And normally any leftover or unexpended allocated funds start to be looked at for lapsing. So that's why encumbrance, early on is important. Better yet, expending, throughout the year would be better. So I will check in with Penny as to, you know, how commission can prevent it from happening again this year, since you know, fatherhood conference is mid-June, and getting towards the end of the month, which is the close of, basically close of the book. So how we can how we can make sure funds are encumbered, if not expended at that time. So basically between now and then, so that it doesn't lapse, because you're right, whatever allocated in that state fiscal year, it doesn't carry over to the next year.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, I'm wondering if there is like a procedure that we can follow, also create for ourselves if necessary. Because in my mind, it was stunning, because all that was communicated back saying yes received, yes paid, and yet the process of submitting a PO so that it could be encumbered did not happen, which is completely out of our control. Does that make sense? So how do we prevent that from happening? It couldn't happen again, because that piece is out of our control. We did all our part. We completely did our part. Not expecting an answer from you or trying to put you on the spot at all. If so, then knowing this and having this experience, then maybe you, Jeff, as our chair, can work with you and Henny to make sure, because I feel kind of bad for Jeff that he was, you know, discovered this, and lucky that information came out even before this meeting, so that now we know we only have, instead of 16,000, we only have 13,000 based on that default here. Back to you.
Okay, we're still trying to work through our audio issues. I didn't hear every detail, but I just want to say that my proposed solution is that I'm going to work as hard as I can to make this work, because if I don't get this expenses to this year, then I'm definitely going to feel like a failure, because this is my biggest contribution to the commission, is being the finance chair. So, but I'm going to need everyone's participation when something comes up, particularly with our travel reservations, to be responsive to me. My goal for next week is actually to get us to go ahead and do our travel reservations and then take things from there, as well as to start getting our sponsorship awards, which we'll discuss later, paid and stuff like that. So I think there's a good amount that we can get in by the end of May. It's just going to take ongoing communication, I think, and I'll figure out the forums, etc., of how to do it. If that's fine, I'll go back to the budget. Okay, so first thing is that thank you to everyone for responding about travel plans and travel arrangements. I have everything down for 3 travel dates, May 20th being our next meeting here on Oahu, our June meeting being on the Big Island and Hilo, and on June 4th being traveling to the event on Maui. Like I said, I'm going to reach out to everyone and to Henny to get this process down of how to get our reservations in and paid for correctly, as well as to make sure to get a car reserved. I'm assuming that that's my responsibility now. Is that correct, Chair?
In the past, in the past for the off island or the neighbor, and I keep saying off island, neighbor island folks who travel to Oahu for the meeting and or the special group travel, we would find the specific flight we want to go on, and each person would email Henny directly so that she has a record, and then she acknowledges, she processes her paperwork. You guys can hear me? Something popped up, so I want to make sure I'm still here. Okay. Then she would process the internal paperwork within DHS and get it signed, and then forward the document to us for us to print, sign, and then scan back to her for her record. So that's why it's a she asked for a minimum of 2 weeks of what do you call time frame for her to work that out. So right off, if we're going to do this in advance, I think my suggestion is that each of us need to, knowing the dates, if we're confirming the dates of the meeting or future events, is to get that information into Henny as soon as possible, because it is easier for her to cancel it than it is to process to book it. Yeah.
Is it fine when the commissioners are emailing Henny to copy me so they know that this is moving forward?
Correct. It is.
And the other thing is I budgeted 1 car for each event based on, I think, a maximum of 4 people traveling to any of the events. So somehow we would need to coordinate our travel, I think, so that no one's stuck at the airport.
I agree. And or maybe allocate just a little bit for Uber or Lyft, because that's another option. Yeah.
Okay.
Maui and Hawaii Island was always a little bit different. It would be waiting around the airport, I think, like an hour for Kauai, if I'm not mistaken. Experience from the past. So, but anyway.
Okay. So because we have limited travel, it was able to reduce the travel expense. I'm going to move on from travel unless anyone had questions about that.
I only have one comment and based upon what you need, the magic you need to work out now with the less 3,000. It's nice for you guys to come over to Maui, but it's okay if you guys decide not to free up money to do the other things. I just wanted to throw that out there. I appreciate the support, but just consider that. Okay.
We also, I'd like to bring back up about logo apparel. I would really like to push for us to get shirts so that, for instance, we can go to the Maui event, or we can even travel wearing our shirts. We have $400 budgeted for that. Is that something we can move ahead with? Yeah. Alan is nodding his head. Commissioner Sunio is nodding his head. What's the best way to go forward with that?
Best way is if everybody's going to, we can decide on the color and everything, but I can get samples of polo shirts, and I just need everybody's sizes. And I guess we're just going to put the logo on it, like the one I had before. So that's simple. The embroiderer already has the logo, so I can go back to her and just have her embroider whatever shirts we have, whoever wants a shirt.
May I ask a question? So I thought in the past he was paying for the embroidery, that we would pick up our own shirts, but is that, did I misunderstand that, Alan? Is this $400 cost for shirts, and then which includes the embroidery?
What? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Kavika. Can you repeat it?
Sure. So I'm trying to clarify that the $400 allocation that Jeff spoke of, is that for the shirt and embroidery, or do we still have to provide our own shirts? And then that would be the embroidery cost.
Okay, with $400, we could do the shirts and embroidery. if we want to provide our own shirts, the embroidery would be, gosh, I forgot what I said it was the last time, but it would be way less. So I don't think we'd even hit $100 or maybe $200 for just the embroidery. It'll be under $200 anyway, just for embroidery, if we provided our own shirts.
Okay, thank you. Jeff, I have another comment maybe. So really quickly then, if we can keep that allocation, then we should just put in the chat box our size, our name and our size. And then either Alan or Jeff would handle it from there. Is that what you need from us? Sorry, I'm trying to move us along.
Well, I think we can decide now, do we purchase the shirts or do we provide our own? And once we know that, then we can move forward here.
Jeff, you're muted. Alan, you got to mute.
I would think if you purchased all the shirts and they're totally matching, I
Okay.
think it would work great.
Yeah. Okay, so we voted that we'll purchase the shirts and do the embroidery. I just need everybody's sizes.
Yeah, so that was already in the last vote, yeah, motion and vote for the budget. So we're good. We just gonna now need to send our sizes.
So we can actually move forward and
Yeah.
without waiting till the next meeting.
Thank you, Jeff. And I just wanted to acknowledge we have a guest on, Patty Peronata. She's actually from my agency on Maui. Glad to see you, Patty. Sorry, we're in the groove here, but I just wanted to acknowledge and thank you for coming on with us. Now we got to behave since you didn't jump on with us. Nah, Patty and I don't behave at our agency. And back to you, Jeff.
So I don't know what it is. We're getting an echo. Nope. I think you have to put it back on you.
I got
Okay, so because of the prior expenditures, I had to remove a couple things. I took out our intent to purchase the Zoom. I hope that's okay. Hoping to push it till next year. And we have a marketing expense still for online social media. I'm hoping to get an update if that's still intended to be used for this year. That would be for Commissioner Wolfer.
We can do a ad for the commission, the Father's Day, or I'm sorry, the National Fatherhood Conference. Was it the 4th annual National Fatherhood Conference? We just do a Facebook ad for all of Hawaii. I just did a Facebook ad for my church. So, I mean, we can do one. We could just run it for about $3-4 a day. How much did you allocate for the ad or for the marketing?
Well, my reduced budget is still $447, so I think we have enough.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
all you do is simply run an ad, tell what it's about, and then add some copy to it, and then have people opt into it so they can get tickets.
Okay, so, and it doesn't sound like we'll be starting that just yet, but I'll need to figure out how to submit that expense and pay it ahead of time when that goes through.
Okay.
So moving on in the budget, we and I think they're agenda items for later discussion. I still have the sponsorship award in there, contribution for the Father's event on Maui, the Fatherhood Conference over here. And I'm not 100% sure how many awards we're giving out. And we also have a training budget, which I reduced to $200. So in reference to what Chair Matto said earlier, I still think that we have the funding that anyone that wants to go to Maui for his event can still do that. I think I've been able to adjust elsewhere.
I'm sorry, Jeff, are you asking a question or just making a statement?
No, I'm actually done.
Oh,
I'm just stating that I think we can still, whoever wants to be able to go to your event can still do that.
so along with the shirt sizes that should be in the chat, I added mine. You should add yours too, so we can get through that quickly, or work on that quickly. As far as the budget is concerned, my only input is that we did receive 3 applications, and I can discuss that when we come to that section. But 3 applications, so that would be the max of the 3,000 that I think was the leftover. That is the leftover from the last meeting. Yeah. So Jeff, any changes, anything we need to discuss or to create any kind of motion towards the budget? And we could do that later too. But
Well, the only thing is that it's refined. The budget has been refined to deal with that $3,000 and to be more accurate with who's traveling when. But it's not that there's new items on it. So I have no idea to what extent a motion needs to be made.
so that's in line with what you remember we talked about last month, yeah.
Yeah.
If there's no other questions, are there any questions for Jeff, guys, for finance and budget? Okay. And if not, then we'll move on to 6C, upcoming events 2022. The first one is on the Hawaii 4th Annual Fatherhood Conference. Turning it to Commissioner Cardenas for updates.
Yeah, Parents Inc., the one of the co-sponsors of it has worked on a flyer to go out, and so want to encourage you to save the dates and get ready to sign up. A promo video should be ready. Should have been ready yesterday, but we'll have the promo video, I think, today, and we'll be announcing the amazing speakers in the near future. So stand by; it'll be another amazing conference.
And so may I ask a question? Is the flyer confirmed? Are we doing that soon to distribute out for more distribution after that?
Yeah, I think, Kavika, what we missed a couple meetings due to unforeseen circumstances. So we need to reconvene. I think we'll be meeting next week, Friday, to be able to finalize the flyer from their mass distribution. And when we do send it out next week, Friday, once we approve it, the video will be attached to it. So we're looking at rolling it out hopefully next weekend.
Sounds good. And then from there, we just need to make sure that Charles or Anthony has it for our Facebook.
Yeah,
page.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's anything on the sponsorship donation, any changes other than you stating earlier about the donation, or I think that was the last meeting. Any updates, sponsorship? No?
No,
We're good?
no. Yeah.
Okay, nothing on registration.
No, we're hoping to get more sponsorships once we finalize the video, get the promo video, and have the flyer ready. Then we'll go ahead and incorporate sponsors. And like I said, we're targeting sponsors up to $10,000 just from history in the past of working with Parents Inc. So all of that should be finalized in our meeting next week, Friday.
Perfect. So going back to the budget and question for Jeff. Jeff, so we have still within the revisions you made recently, we still have the original 1,000 plus accepting their submission for sponsorship for the additional 1,000. So 2,000 allocated towards this event still?
You know, the fatherhood conference, I'm actually showing $1,000 allocated to it, but I also had the sponsorship awards at 4,000, which you just told me was 3,000. So that really kind of throws another 1,000 in there that we can move over to the fatherhood conference.
Yeah, so sorry for the confusion. So they were the only sponsorship application leading up to last month's meeting was the only one that was submitted. So we actually passed with a motion to support Parents Inc. with the additional 1,000. So they should have a total of 2,000.
Oh,
And that-
okay.
Yeah, and that left us with the 3,000 unspent because
Okay.
originally it was 4. Yeah. Am I
Okay,
making
then
sense?
Then I may have misunderstood. So I have that $1,000 of the $4,000 is for Parents Inc. And then we have a separate $1,000 directly to the fatherhood conference. Is that what you were asking?
Correct. From the original
Yeah.
first budget back in October, I think.
Yes.
Okay, and then okay, that leaves us with the 3,000 for further discussion when we get to that section, yeah, on the sponsorship. So if it's okay, then any questions? If not, we're gonna move on to the next one.
Just no question, just comment. Thanks, Jeff, for not cutting the budget in regards to the fourth annual conference. And thank you for just working hard and dealing with that. Really appreciate your leadership in regards to making the adjustments. Mahalo.
Thanks, Alan. Any other commissioners, any comments? If not, I'll move on, or questions? Okay, so we're on C, Business Partner Award. If you recall, we did place a motion last meeting that Anthony Mendez was volunteered and then was nominated to submit a Business Partner Award. From my understanding is that a selection was made and he's ready to submit that so that we can place the order for that trophy next week, Monday. Did speak with our contact for award line, and so yeah, she's ready for the order. So next week, Monday, I'll get that name from Anthony, and then if we can, now we move on to Father of the Year awards. So as a recap, last meeting we increased the count to go from 7 Father of the Years to 11. The breakdown is to give 2 to Hawaii County, 1 would come from the east side and 1 from the west. Hawaii County increasing to 3 so that each island can have a awardee for the 3 islands: Maui, Lanai, and Molokai, or Molokai, depending how you say it. So that's 3. Kauai, Charles said it's sufficient to have 1. And then for the island of Oahu, we said 2 at the request of Alan, 2 on the leeward side, 1 central, 1 Honolulu, 1 windward. Everybody kind of was assigned. For Alan Sunio, who was not here, I think maybe wasn't here when we discussed this. We went into kind of detail with this, Alan. And this is what we came up with. And we allowed, like last year, we allowed for the commissioners who wanted to have a selection to do so. So guys, you got your names for me? And if so, then I need to get them so that Monday, I don't need them here publicly like we did last year, but I need to have them by Sunday so that I can forward them to award line next week. If I can ask for clarity, Jeff, on the total again, just so it's recorded here verbally, the allocation for the trophies.
I have right now $886.81 allocated.
800, but that was last year's total, right?
Correct.
He actually increased it last month.
We had increased it to $700. And I increased it to that just because that was last year's total and it was higher.
You have handy what the trophy cost was? I think it was $80 times 11. Last week's budget, last month's budget that we voted on.
I don't have anything else that I can pull up right here.
And share the screen. Let me look really quickly. Guys, bear with me because I think this is an important piece. Yeah. Any other discussion? You can have it with Jeff concerning the awards at this point.
So what was the total budgeted right now? Right now, what's the total budgeted for the awards, Jeff?
I have $886.81. But if that really might not be enough, if that was for, but that was higher than what I had coming out of last meeting. So I don't have it adjusted for 11. I'm gonna need to adjust that.
Sorry.
Kavika, was the that amount due on a recent quote that you got from Award Line?
Let me pull it up on the 18th because I was trying to punch in those numbers as we were speaking. We said here's my notes. So we said $89 for the Parent Friendly Business Award, and then $76. That's each for the Father of the Year Award. That's based on last year's quote to us, which I think Cindy folks said when I spoke to them verbally last month that she would honor. So the total, we adjusted it to $925 minimum. It's for 11 Father of the Years and the 1 Parent Friendly Business Award.
Okay, I can make that adjustment.
That was voted on with the motion last month. Any other comments, concerns, input? We need the names, so gotta have the names. And yeah, please get them to me by Sunday so that I can put all the names together and really define the email to Award Line on Monday. Yeah.
Chair Manis, I have a question. What at what point are the awardees notified about this?
If we do it like last year, we worked at getting them on. Does the information for them, which it's Commissioner Cardenas is the MC of the event, read, and they found out right there and then.
Oh, so we don't notify them ahead of time.
We don't
Okay.
notify. We didn't notify them last year. It's up to you if you want to, I guess.
I think we had some cases, Chair, that they were notified in advance, maybe one.
One, okay.
Yeah, the rest was a surprise, a pleasant, wonderful surprise.
Otherwise, for some community members that are not as involved, it may be more of a challenge to get them onto the conference.
Yeah, it was a work in progress for mine but I had several people convinced, making them come on and get on. So yeah, I understand that. But it's up to you. If you want to tell your nominee, not nominee, your person, if you're responsible for the person, about the reward, it's up to you. About the award.
So this year doesn't have to be a surprise. We can go ahead and tell them.
Want to?
Cool. That's what's up.
That's okay, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna try to surprise my Maui guys as much as possible.
Me too here. 2 of them, I'm going to surprise them.
Yeah.
You could, this is Alan, you can just say that they're one of the nominees and we'd like them to be there.
Good point. Thanks, Alan, for the input too. Okay, so nothing else with budget and finance concerning that? I'm gonna push for us to keep going. Alrighty. If no other questions, comments, or concerns, we're gonna move on to the number 2 in upcoming events. So nothing really to report concerning Maui's event. I think Jeff needed to know though. I have the video that we can play, but maybe I'll play it next month instead, just in the interest of time. The 3-minute video, just to see again what the event is about. And we don't have anybody new from the public to see that. So if you're okay with it, I'm gonna skip last year's event video, which we would have played it with if we had the leisure, the extra time. So skipping that, I'll put it on the agenda for next month if we do want to look at it again. So updates in planning. I do have the flyer that's available for the public. I also was going to ask the DHS, like with the Hawaii conference flyer, to post it on our website. And then Henny is real good at distributing out at least within DHS. So we'll do that piece as well. And put on their fatherhood commissions donation. So we're trying to do what we did last year. I wanted to confirm with Jeff that the donation is still intact. The original donation from the budget of October, I think it was $1,500, if I'm not mistaken, allocated towards Maui, to give out prizes on behalf of the commission.
Yes, that is correct.
Does that need to change at all, anybody? Do you have any comments or concerns? Because if not, I'm more than willing to accept that under that hat. If not, then yeah, I plan to approach Lowe's and use that for us. So Jeff, did you need to know, like, again, did you already get the confirmation on who's going so you can make the proper allocation?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do have. We also have $500, which last month I had itemized as open because that was what we had earmarked for the Kauai conference. So if we want to go ahead and allocate that towards towards your event to bring it up to 2,000.
So then the discussion got to be by you guys.
Then I'm going to make a motion that we reallocate that extra $500 to bring the full funding award to the Celebration of Fathers event up to $2,000.
This is Alan Cardenas. I second.
I'm recusing myself. So can somebody just continue the motion then?
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, the motion's passed.
5. And can we get recusing? Okay. Thanks, guys. With that hat. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Can I ask you a question? Just out of curiosity, are you holding it as a drive-through event similar to last year, or are there changes?
Exact same event.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, Maui has opened up with like walk-ins, but this may be the way we're going to continue this event, because the fact that we get to impact every car that comes through. Feedback from the other partner agencies, they really want, like, they're really happy that we're doing it this way again, as opposed to hoping that somebody come by their tent, or their site. Yeah, and us on the tail end, whoever comes, we'll do the same setup, but the commission on the end, to pass out stuff I think that was impactful. Right. Oh, any other questions? If not, I can move on. Oh, you with us? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I don't need to take a break. I can take my phone with me and walk to my car to increase my parking, if that's okay.
Is your parking due?
Yeah, in about 8 minutes.
Okay. In doing that, that would be awesome. Any objections to that, guys? Or does anybody need a break? Because we can break.
I'm gonna have to do the same.
Okay.
in a little bit.
You want us to take a quick 5-minute break then? Is that okay, everybody? Or 5 minutes is good enough, you think? Kind of walking fast. Okay, well, with that said then, I hope it's okay with Erin, because I think she may be also out and about. But yeah, why don't we take a break?
That's fine.
Thank you, Erin. So it's 2:18.
Yay.
It's 2:18. Why don't we come back and then take a break and call the meeting back to order at like 2:23 when everybody returns. 2:24. 5 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes. Hey guys, and if you guys are all back.
We're still waiting for Commissioner Sunil.
As I said earlier, while we're waiting for them, I'm gonna have a conversation. I said earlier, I'm in Hilo. Whew, when I came last month for a funeral service and 2 weeks prior and 2 weeks prior to that, the fog here, although we cannot see it, it's not like before. And they had a big eruption a couple years ago, but man, I get bossed up. Head, my sinus, I got a headache right now.
Also
It's
cookie
not-
frogs up there.
Huh?
Also cookie frogs.
You know, I find that relaxing, although I'm down in my in-laws' house. And so when they come out at night, it's kind of still far away. But in a way, I kind of find it soothing unless they're right outside the house. So in Kyoka, at my in-laws' house, I can sleep well. I fell asleep real early watching Mermonic. But it's this fog. It happens every time. So come over early. I'm putting on one big family reunion in September. Is to bite the bullet and to do that from our big family over here. I gotta come early. Imagine the people that's close to like volcano side, yeah, mountain. Whoa, when it shifts that way, wow.
Hey, Kavika,
Yes, Jeff.
when we start up, can I ask another question about your event?
Yeah, should it be official?
Do we want to pause the recording while we're like waiting to restart?
Is everybody there? Who else? Aaron, it's okay. Okay, so yeah, so why don't we call the meeting back to order? It's 2:30, came back from break. Thank you. 2:30, we've got the presence of all 6 commissioners again. Okay, so we are on the topic of, I'm gonna share screen, we're on the topic of the Maui event, and Jeff, you had a question.
Yeah, I had a question about the what we're buying to give them, and I had formulated this thought last year right after the event, and so I don't have it exactly refined in my head what my thoughts were, but the tools were incredible gifts and very popular and very liked. There's no question about that. But in a way, and I'm just expressing personal feelings here, I thought it was very expected and very macho, and not so much a way to get men in touch with themselves or anything like that. And I tried to think, well, what else would there be? And I don't know that I necessarily have any kind of solution other than that. Then there are the men's care products, for instance, for the bathroom. I don't know if you've ever given those things out, like Dove men's shampoo or soap or stuff like that. I just wanted to throw that thought off of my chest to accompany the tools or something to that effect.
So, thank you, Jeff. And I definitely appreciate that also as an option. So initially we were thinking of just passing out t-shirts and using that money to help us. I was fortunate enough to change or to get some funds for the t-shirts. So that's under our agency, right? On behalf of the agency. So that's why, just based on the feedback, even from staff, women staff, they were saying that was such an incredible gift. And Lowe's was instrumental with that, right? Because $35. I guess we were so intrigued by the cost because I think they gave us these $35, the big tools, the one we had more of for like $6 or something like that. Hoping they'll do something like that for us again. But yeah, having option, if we can get some, maybe even like a little bag together, I might, if I can work on that, that's something seriously to consider as well. So thanks for the option, you know, maybe the tools or a gift bag or something. I wanted to kind of keep it more simple. And actually my thought was we would give something small, so a t-shirt and either, you know, a tool to try and keep this year more simple, but maybe the option could be, you know, care, what do you call that? Not healthcare, but hygiene care and or a tool
Men's care.
and a t-shirt. Men's care or a tool and a t-shirt. And then the next one would be t-shirt. Yeah, they get a t-shirt.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. Thanks I love that input. Thank you. Any other comments, questions about the Maui event? Now we'll move on. Thanks for your patience, guys. We're on the Fatherhood Sponsorship Award Program. Application review selection. So just kind of recap for Joe and then Alan. I think Alan wasn't here last week. Because only one application was submitted by Parents Inc. last month, making the deadline that was set forth in March, in March, February to March. We decided a motion was proposed to open up, since we had the extra 3,000 still, to open up for sponsorship again. So the 3 applications, as I was just searching earlier, and I apologize because I got locked out of my work email for some. We did receive, so Commissioner Esmond, Jeff reached out to Discovery Center. He also reached out to HANA, the association. Those are the 2 recipients last year. And then they both resubmitted. And then in addition to that, another organization, and unfortunately, I can only read to you that application, which came from it's a key.
The key project.
You're familiar, Jeff?
Yeah.
Kualoa, Heia, I think. Go ahead, Jeff.
If it's the key project, because I reached out to them. It's I forget what key stands for, but that's who submitted it.
Okay, so this is what they said. This is submitted by Auli'i Duwat, dated 23rd. Agency mission is to nurture and promote culture, environment, social, economic, and recreational well-being to provide vital grassroots civic resource that serves a diverse multicultural community. We are a critical community resource center serving vulnerable Keiki to Kapuna and have provided social services programs and essential meeting spaces to our rural windward community over the purpose of their organization. It's kind of a similar. So they're requesting 1,000. It's going to take $2,000 for the event to pull off the event. The brief description of the event is key project is intending to transition to in-person for a Father's Day event on Saturday, June 18th. This event will include a Father's Day breakfast and family-friendly activities. Funds will support facility use fees for the event and cover any materials needed for advertising and staffing of the event. So it cannot go towards staffing, but they could use that for the other stuff, yeah, other expenses. Because we don't pay that labor expense at a cost. That's the one application. Any questions about that? I'm sorry, I don't have it on my computer to show you guys.
Chair, this is Alan Cardenas. Great organization. They have been just a wonderful, wonderful part of the community. Jeff, thank you so much for reaching out to them. I think it's a great investment, great organization for what they're doing out there.
That's that one. The next one, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Jeff. The next one is from Yan Usher. She submitted an application last year as well, which was honored. This is the Discovery Center Hawaii in Honolulu on Oahu. Father's Day celebration, fathers free or reduced admission to the center, special activities for them to do father-child activities. The fund will be used to offer free admissions for the fathers on June 19th and to purchase supplies for the activity. So same application like we did last year. That's that one. And I am trying to look at for Hana's, but Hana, I've got 2 emails, but I don't think they attached anything. So that's the Hana. They kind of just said that was in an email description from the president of the Hana Association who submitted last year, saying that we would like to do the same kind of event to honor, but she didn't fill out the application.
So where do we go from here?
As far as I'm concerned, that one's disqualified. So as of right now, we already got the 2.
Oh. So do we just accept that or? What do we do?
What do you mean? The 2 applications?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if any discussion or questions about the 2 applications submitted from Discovery Center and from with the Key project? Commissioners. Joe raising his hand. Anybody? They both seem in line with supporting fathers and doing the activities with the fathers. So with that said, then why don't we just have somebody give, I'm sorry, somebody's going to say something.
Sorry, it's Commissioner Esmond. Do we have the opportunity, because they submitted their intent, to pursue the formal form? I'm trying to go through my email to see if I have it, but it's hard on my phone. Or is it done for them? Because I think they're under the impression that they're going to get it.
I haven't spoken with them at all, other than receiving that communication. Did you? I'm sorry, I need to be corrected. She called me like a week and a half ago, or 2 months or 2 weeks ago, or whatever, and said, hey, did someone submit the application? I said, no. And then she said, okay, we're going to. And then the next was the 2 emails that didn't have attached. So I didn't do any follow-up with them. But it's
I
up to
know
you
we
how you
have,
guys want to.
I know we have a deadline. I just feel like it's such an important part of our budget to give these monies out. I don't know if it's possible to accept that they had indicated their intent and then get the details, or just because we don't have the details, we can't approve.
What's the discussion?
This Commissioner Sunil, let me, I'm kind of off on all of this, so we only have 2 applicants, correct? Is that what you're saying right now? Okay, and then out of the 2 applicants, what amounts are they requesting?
It's about 1,000 each.
Oh, I don't know what he's saying.
The maximum, they're asking for the maximum of 1,000 each, because we said up to 1,000, yeah?
Maximum of 1,000. Did you
Yeah,
say a
no.
maximum of 1,000?
Yes,
Okay, and how much did we allocate for, was it 5,000?
3,000 left to spend. 2 applications of $1,000 each.
So we could give them a little bit more then.
It's up to you guys. You mean the 2?
Since we only have 2 and we want to spend that money. That's just a thought anyway.
Kavika, what was the name of the lady?
Oh, is what I'm thinking. Wait for a second. Let me just double check something really. Oh, sorry. Hey. Yeah, let's see. It's under EPO mail OU at AOL.com.
I
It's
just can't find anything on my phone. It's too hard.
Yeah, I mean, I can forward this. I can forward this to you, Jeff. I'm okay with whatever you guys decide. If it's too late for them because they didn't actually, she put it in just an email form, is what I'm gathering here, the way it's written. Or distribute as Alan suggested to, the other ones that did apply.
I feel like we had a discussion last year.
Sorry, it's me.
I feel like we had a discussion last year that we were not actually able to increase the existing awards.
I think if I may jump in, it's not that we couldn't, it's just we decided not to. Well, however, as long as we,
Yeah, this is Alec
as long as we
again.
do
Yeah,
an motion, go
because
ahead, Alan.
we had several requests and some of them asked for a little bit more and it would have gone over. So we decided not to extend what they wanted, but just give them the maximum. There was another group that I talked to. I was talking to a nurse. They had a 501c3 that was working in Kalihi with kids and parents. And I asked her to submit the application, but apparently they didn't submit it. So that would have been a good one to support. So I was hoping they would do it. They haven't. And if we only got 2, then we can either stick to what they requested, or if we really want to spend that money because we don't have anything else to do with it, then we can increase it a little bit anyway, and then use the balance for something else that's needed in our budget.
Discussion, anybody? How we should do a vote?
The part about keeping it the same, but then allocating it to other things that we need sounds good to me.
Am I on?
Yes.
I know. So I think you just sent me an email, Kabika, right?
Right.
From EPO at the HANA Community Association and Fatherhood Commission. Oh wait, HANA Community Association. And she wrote a whole brief description of the event. And which I don't necessarily need to read the whole thing, but was she ever responded to that was not enough?
I didn't, quite honestly. I've just been too busy. I saw it come true and I assumed it was correct.
And you're saying under the formal procedures, it's not sufficient to the email for the award application.
Yeah, I'm saying if there were 10 applications, we would reject that one because it wasn't complete. But it's, again, it's up to you guys.
I mean, I would personally, if given the opportunity, like to follow up with them to get it finished, because they did submit. I worry now that they're expecting it.
The other discussions, thoughts, anybody? And because it's Maui, let me say, I'm not gonna be offended either way. I'm totally okay with the group chooses, and if we gotta vote, then we can vote. The discussion, comments, so you can move on. Oh, I will get offended even if it's Maui, I said. So if we honor what was brought up by Alan and Charles supported, Jeff, maybe before we take a vote on that, are there areas that we could use on the budget to ensure that we bring all of our bases?
I feel like, in spite of that $3,000 subtraction, I feel like we're fine. We don't need this $1,000 quite at this time to fill in other areas.
Okay, so commissioners, with that note, are you guys okay with that? And then I'm thinking maybe we just do an open vote of which way we'd rather go, not an official motion, but just to kind of have a sense, and then we have to do a motion on what we're going to do with that money. It's not an official motion, official vote, but would that make it fair? How many guys got? 1, 2, 3, you get 6 of us.
$1,000. Oh, $4,000 in total, and so we have 3,000 allocated. Yeah, really, Parents Inc. is one of them. So it's not just, it's just that they were already approved and we're approving the last 3.
Sorry. Well, you know, if we don't have anywhere else we could use the fundings, then, you know, I would just, in my thoughts, I would say, you know, we could increase all 3 and give them a little bit more, so that way would spend that money. But gosh, you know, I have talked to so many different organizations that really need the money, and I've asked them to submit, and I'm surprised that they haven't, you know. So, and especially that group in Kalihi, because they work with, you know, their primary focus was on the kids and then the families, trying to get the families to work together because of the kids in Kalihi. I really wanted to support them, and I kept pushing her to make sure you do it now, make sure you do it, and they haven't. So that's to me, that's really sad. But that, you know, that's my thought. You know, we go ahead and say, hey, you know, we were able to get, you know, more funding, or however you want to word it, and then just give it out to them this year, just so that we spend it.
Any other feedback? Because if not, then maybe it sounds like Alan is about to put a motion. So Alan, you want to place a motion of what you just stated then? And then we'll do an official vote. And if that doesn't work out, then we place another motion. So Neil,
You want, did you want me to make a motion on this? Because there's, no one else has any suggestions, any other thoughts? Is there anybody else that we can think of that might benefit from it, that we can reach out to, or do we just want to go with the motion to increase their request, the three applicants' requests, so that we spend the total amount we wanted to give out?
correct, we're at that place.
Should I abstain from voting because the agency I work for is one of the applicants?
Which one? Parent Inc.?
Yeah.
No, that one's finalized already. We voted on that last month.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah,
for
so
bringing that
there's
awareness.
3,
Yeah, so there's,
correct? There's 3 including parents.
oh, I see what you're saying. Correct.
Correct.
If that's your motion, correct. Then Joe is correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. If that's the motion.
I just can't hear.
So what is the motion again then, Alan, for clarity?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we increase the requests for the 3 organizations that submitted their applications for funding, so that we can, I don't want to use the word spend, but, spend the monies we allocated for the charities.
Which is to include, if I may interject, so along with that motion, Alan, for clarity, Parents Inc., Discovery Center, and the key project, yeah, that one we read earlier is the 3.
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the dollar amount that we're approving?
I don't know.
$300.
This is $1,000 being split into 3 to reallocate among the 3 existing recipients.
Okay, so I think it would be good if we could get the amount into the motion for the record.
Well, you're gonna have to restate again, sorry.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that I'd like to make a motion that we increase the $1,000 amounts for the 3 charities that have requested full funding and split the remaining $1,000 between the 3 organizations. Is that clear?
A second? Oh, but did you state the amount? Did we state the amount? I know you're frozen. Sorry. Can you reinstate it? But didn't you say we have to say the amount requested by Alan Cardenas?
Yes, I did say the amount.
Okay.
Where we're gonna divide the remaining $1,000 between the 3 organizations that have requested funding to increase their $1,000 requests.
$333 each. Is there a second?
I second Alan Cardenas.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Alan, for Sunil for submitting, for the motion. Second by Alan Cardenas. All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Abstained.
Thank you. So there is, Jeff, you're voting no?
I'm a no.
Okay. So what do we have? 4 ayes, 1 nose, and so motion is passed. Majority majority wins, I guess, or overrules. Is that okay? That's where we're at. And then Joe abstained because he is part of Parents Inc. All right, go back to share screen.
Rika,
Yeah, sorry.
will you be contacting them that their application was insufficient?
Cool. Yeah, keep reminding. I'll take the responsibility.
And then I do have to go at 3. I have a court that I couldn't get out of.
Yeah, if there's any more voting then, since we got Joe on here. I don't think there's any more voting going to take place.
Vika,
Yes.
the only problem is you're gonna have to make a motion to end the meeting and vote on that.
But there's 5 commissioners still.
Oh,
There's
is there
still
5?
a quorum if I leave, yeah.
Recording. Yeah, there is.
Okay, sorry
Thanks,
about
Eric.
that.
No worries, no
Yeah.
worries. I love that you're on it. Okay, so
Okay,
thanks, Joe.
thank you. Take care, everyone. Good seeing you
Joe,
guys.
follow up on your thing with legislation, yeah? Or have you heard anything yet?
Yeah, it's all good. I think it's it passed the committee and then I think it passed the floor vote.
Okay.
So should be good.
Okay, so that is actually taking us into number 7. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you guys.
All right, Joe.
So yeah, that was number 7. Number 8, let's rock and roll through this. Strategic plan. Anything on within the 9 statutory duties, Central Information Clearinghouse. Did you guys find out if you have source lists from anyone through your network? I think, was it Anthony? Anthony's taking charge of this, but he's not here. If you do have a resource list, pass them on to Anthony.
Cool. I got one.
Kauai, yeah? Good. Okay, cool. Identifying best practice. Any discussion? The 3, identifying obstacles, family court, child welfare system, other obstacles. I did receive an email from someone who submitted it to the Fatherhood Commission. So I wanted to note this for the record. I'm not going to share detailed information, but I'd like to read without disclosing that person's the name. To contact him. He just sent this at the beginning of April. If I may read this, so it says really quickly, hello, David, my name is, I am contacting you for help, advice, and guidance. My son, he states the son's name, has been intentionally kept away from me from child welfare services. I have documentation, facts showing negligence, malicious intent from CWS. Never seen corruption in the USA like what is happening with me. I have no criminal record. I'm an IT professional for the last 20 years, military secret clearance, FBI clearance, etc. This has to do with someone within the State Department who is causing problems for me to have sole custody of my son. The mother, and he states the name, passed away February of 2022 of this year. I'm the legal father, comma, CWS contacted me. They have all my, CWS never contacted me. They have all my contact information. I've warned CWS for the past 1 year by emails that my son is in danger. No one replied. I found out by third party that the mother passed and there is a homicide investigation against the husband. He states the name. He left a phone number. I have much more information I would like to share showing the corruption with CWS. And he states his name and his number. So Oahu Oahu commissioners, would somebody like to take on this task because he's within your district on Oahu? Doesn't say what district, so need somebody that can actually walk him through maybe services or what have you there too, or just to listen and see if he wants to present. Buddy? Thoughts?
I would have absolutely no clue where to begin, but I'm not sure that Commissioner Sunio heard enough. Did you want him to repeat it? Oh, this question is, does anyone from Oahu want to take the lead in helping this letter writer to do something?
Or at least to hear him out. Because this is kind of what I deal with on Maui, within Maui County, but I didn't want to step on, although he reached out to me because I'm the one that's on the email, the Fatherhood Commission email. I'm assuming that's why he said, "Dear David." So if not, I can find out more information, give him a call, and then try to forward him to you guys, especially if he's within your district. Sounds like somebody that's gonna need support.
He doesn't know where he lives.
Okay. Impression is he may not even be from here. He's living here, but he may not be from here originally yet. So I only have what I read to you guys. Okay. Tell you what, then I'll reach out to him, and then based upon by the area that he's at, I'm gonna reach out to you and forward that to you guys. You can give him you guys' name, whoever is kind of in that district. That's the best that I'm thinking I can do. You know, taking off the commissioner hat and then talking about my work hat. If our County Connections program, we have offered support towards Oahu guys that are looking for a support group that also teaches, that's County Connections. So I'll give them that option as well to try and support them, but preferably you guys there can help him too, Okay, then I'll give him. Memor, do you have somebody that's within DHS that specifically handles complaints or concerns like this? Or is it just straight to CWS? Because it sounds like he's not having success there. Memori.
There is a complaint line, which is Malia Tom Dinick is the person who normally takes the complaint line.
Okay.
At the same time, if it's an ongoing case and family court is involved, we're unable to share much of the information because we're involved in it. So it's a fine line for DHS to get involved in that sense. However, our main line, as well as director's office, shared mailbox, are open to public for feedback, insight, comments, complaints, and questions. It's for the purpose of public access.
Okay, and that's what I'll share with him then. Yeah, that's what I'll share. I'll share with him. I'm getting an echo, so I don't know if it's me or somebody else trying to speak.
Yeah.
I will call. We'll take a direction on just for clarity. I will call, try to see how we can support, and then offer that he, through DHS, he can call the main line. Then if he wants to speak to somebody and get support within kind of an area on Oahu, then at that point I will, I'll give him the listing if through our website, who he can contact, try to contact with you guys, yeah. Not giving out your personal, but maybe I'll reach out to you and see if you can help this guy. Fair enough? Okay, we'll do that. Any thoughts, questions? If not, I'm gonna go up to number 4. Raising public awareness, social media. Charles, any updates, anything we should know?
Nope, Anthony and I are still working over that. Anthony has had an amazing idea of actually putting different TED Talks on the site as well, on the page as well. TED Talks, what makes a great father, difficulties of a father, things of that nature. So, but yeah, like things just going the way they are. We're getting a few new people to join the group every so often. So just bringing out that public awareness.
Thank you, Charles. Noted on the agenda B, beach cleanup, public events. I know Anthony wanted to speak of a possible beach cleanup collaboration. But he's not here to speak on that behalf. He has the right idea. He's just trying to, from what I've gathered, he's trying to just get the Fatherhood Commission logo out and about in the community. So we should be thinking like that as well. He's not here to speak of that, so we'll move on. Recommendation, policies, and practices. I don't have anything concerning any of these specific line items. We haven't put any efforts or any discussion. Not number 6, promote education to train fathers. No discussion. 7, fatherhood programs. Any updates, Alan? No,
not in regards to that, but backing up in the awareness, FYI, summer is coming up, which means graduation. And graduation means luau's. Luau's means drinking. Drinking means people will be drunk on the road. So one of the things that I'm working on is I'm working with Ed Werner. He was the one that lost his son, Kaulana Werner, in Nanakuli, to look at some talking points for dads. So we got MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So I'm working on the talking points actually right now, dads, that we would always take responsibility, protect our family on the road, make sure that everybody arrives alive, get home safely, and so forth. We will never drive while drunk, allow others to drive while drunk, and blame other people for our lives, hurts, habits, and hangups, and so forth. So hopefully we can get it done by our next meeting, and that we can be able to come and launch it, because not just on the west side of Oahu, but I see what's happening on Maui. It's just heartbreaking. I think that's one of the things that we can champion. So hopefully by our next board meeting, we will have, maybe he will be able to join us, and we can stand alongside each other as dads and fathers to make sure this summer, this graduation, everybody get home safely. I mean, we've got to take a stand. So I'm also working with DOT, Department of Hawaiian Homelands, our representative, to be able to put other safety factors in place before graduation. So we got to do everything that we can to make sure that all of our families in all our home Hawaii get home safely. So that's something that we're working on, Chair, right now for the public awareness part, and see what we can do. Fathers, communities.
So when the minutes get done, we try to note that, and then more specifically, if you want to talk about it in the next agenda, make sure we put that on there. Okay, so nothing on Ho'ola Napua, nothing on early childhood specifically. I'll possibly share our project with Kanoe Enos the next meeting. increasing fatherhood capacity. Any discussion? Any and all things number 9, 8, and 9. Take off legislation session from the next agenda. So as of for the last time, any discussion about number 9, legislation session 2022? Okay, if not, number 10. What's the latest on the annual reports? I think I'm going to refer to Charles.
Amanda Stevens did want us to finish that up by the first quarter, and that is gone, like here and gone now. So I will go ahead and continue to reach out to the commissioners to get the reports on, you know, the respective things that they needed, that we needed to get done for the report, and get all that into you.
Community collaborations. What's the latest on NPCL, International Fatherhood Conference? Any discussion? Other upcoming conferences. Is that still on the budget, Jeff? You said?
Yes, this is in the budget. This is what I brought up before. Some of us participated in this conference online last year. So I would think that everyone else, those people are getting the same emails that I am. This year's theme is the role of women in the fatherhood movement. And I'm promoting it for 2 reasons. One is because training is on the budget and there's been no other expense for training in any other way. And this is something that came up, and because we're a fatherhood organization of sorts, the fee is only $25 per person if we register by May 2nd. And even if we miss that deadline, it's only $35 a person, and we have that in the budget. We had a higher number in the budget for training education, and it's already greatly reduced just to accommodate this. The challenge is that we do have all of us have a busy June, and it starts at 4:45 in the morning for the 2 days that it's on. It's just that I think it's relevant for us, and so I'm pushing for it. To date, no one has reflected any interest.
So that's June 8th and 9th for clarity, right?
Correct.
Starting at 4:45 a.m., which probably go till I think
Till
10.
About 10 o'clock. Yeah.
10. So right now, guys, put in the chat if you guys want to go, because the money is already allocated. If not, then Jeff can adjust, but we should just set a deadline today, Jeff. I think that was the original direction.
I think it's the June 8th and 9th.
Either or, you mean?
It's 2 days.
Okay. Yeah, instead of tottering with this stuff, because one of the things that we're doing, you know, we should just say to you right now in the chat, if you're gonna go conference, yes, June 8th, 9th. Jeff needs to figure out how we're gonna get that paid. If you're gonna have to pay first and then reimburse, or with the HS with the registration. Last year, Henny registered for us. We gave her the information. I accumulated the information, I think, and sent it to Henny. But somebody else needs to take the lead on that this year.
I'm just gonna read out the formal name of the conference: Celebrating the Legacy and Contributions of Women in Fatherhood, Research, Policy, and Practice. And this is something I know nothing about personally.
Can we say then, if you are gonna do it now, just chat with Jeff, and if that'll give Jeff an opportunity to confirm who's coming and adjust the budget for us for next month. Is that okay, Jeff?
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
Sounds good. We're probably gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it through my agency, so I'm just telling you. That's why I'm not putting it in there. If I end up having on staff do it. Okay. DHS website, number 11 is, I gotta get the, we'll make sure that we put the February minutes on. I got to figure out completing the March and meet the deadline. And put a draft on there until next month so we can vote on that one as well. The 2 meetings on March and April. Any other discussion? Okay, any other, number 12, any discussion on County of Honolulu districts? Any reports?
Yeah, can I say something about that? Well, it's in reference to that letter you were talking about. Can you share that letter, and if you can find out if we know what area or what district that person is, then maybe the people from Oahu can, if it's my area, which is I think I said I do Central. I don't mind reaching out because I did that for a purpose, and to relieve a lot of this work from you.
Yes.
We need to get this going. And if we can start this, put this in motion, then it'll grow. But I don't mind, if it's in my area, I don't mind reaching out. Or if it's in another area and the other person can't do it, I don't mind reaching out, because we got to start doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
And it just, takes more things off of your plate, so that you can designate to the other commissioners, us, what we need to do if something falls into our area, which is why we did this. So, but if you can share that letter and then find out which area this guy in, that we can respond. And for me, I don't know how I would respond, but I can at least refer him to DHS hotline.
Yeah.
So that he has someplace to reach out to. Or I do a lot of things at Kapolei Courthouse, so I can, and it's family court out there, so I can reach out to the judges out there and ask them if they can give me some, referrals or, information on how we can, what steps can be taken. So, but I'd like to get that going anyway.
Thank you, Alan, for saying that. And just again,
I want to see the letter and get more information. That's all.
So the letter was actually just an email, yeah, with just a phone number, name and phone number. So it wasn't like an official letter. It was actually a written email of what I read to you. But let me give him a call. Let me find out where he's at, what district. And you really bring up a good point, just based on division of Oahu Island, right? So yeah, I'll follow up with that and forward that if it's within the district. We have the recording in our previous minutes of who is kind of handling where. Thanks, Alan. Any other comments? Questions, concern? Now we go on to 13. Marketing materials. I know we talked about the shirts earlier. Please put your shirt size in the chat box, either direct to Alan Sunil, or I just put mine in general. I got fat lately, so now I'm back to XXX, just so you guys know. He's laughing. He hasn't seen me. But anyway, please take care of that so that we can jump on that. Any other marketing information?
So as Jeff and I choose the color shirt.
White.
Any
Black.
comments?
Black. No.
Does the commission not have colors already?
White. It's white.
We have brown and green. That's the logo is in brown and green. And does it work on black? What were shirts in the past? Oh. So could we
Black, if I can make a note, black is nice. My belly don't show too much.
I'm a big fan of black because I can't keep white clean.
Yeah.
Black it is.
Black it is. We all agree with black. If you got any comments, get a hold of Alan. If not, it's gonna be black. Good. You know why, Jeff? It was personal. That's right. It was personal shirts submitted, and then the logo was placed on it.
Got it.
So that's okay with DHS to put in a PO and so forth there. Gotta do that quickly. Okay, getting down to the wire. Nothing on ethics and boundary that I have. Again, they're a great resource, the OIP, yeah, Office of Informational Practices. If not, we clarified what we needed to on the decision making. We were in line. Other comments, questions, or concern on the decision making? If not, we're going to go to next, looking at next meeting. So May 10th, May 20th. Again, that's going to come up really quickly. It's a month, little less than a month from now. Henny needs the reservations details within 2 weeks. So I will forward my information. This is neighbor islands coming to Oahu. Anybody else? Charles, is it your plan? Just kind of, so it's a budget. Jeff knows for budget purposes, you're planning on being on Oahu next month, yeah?
Yeah, and Jeff, you need my Hawaiian Airlines information and stuff.
That's Henny.
Oh, Henny, gotcha.
Yeah, so find your, so I'll find, and then let me, or then Joe jumped off already. So yeah, so that's the information, date of birth, Hawaiian miles, and that goes directly to Henny saying specifically what flight you want. Okay, so that's got to be submitted to her.
Very good. Just to confirm the responses I got, it was you, Charles, and Joe also confirmed that he'll travel to Oahu next month.
Okay, okay. And then at that meeting, we need to make sure, I'll bring my laptop, I have a webcam. So thank you, Mimori, for your support to make this happen today, right? I know he was scrambling, we're still trying to get used to all of this. I do have a question. In that conference room, is there a live wire or is it only a direct live wire or is it only Wi-Fi? And is the Wi-Fi good and strong? Seems like it.
There may be,
Oh.
and I will check. I see the Cat 5 flags right there behind me on the wall, but I'm not sure if that's actually working.
Okay.
But Wi-Fi is working. So
Okay, thank you.
that I know.
Okay, sounds good. And I apologize for my mishaps earlier on. in the meeting.
Can I just add something, Chair? It's not working as well as it could or should. We're having a real challenge here because we can only have one phone on at a time. So every time someone speaks, I'm turning my volume down and trying to avoid that echo. That's why you keep getting an echo. So we really have room for improvement in making it function.
So I'm thinking with my webcam, which is a pretty good system, although if I'm conducting the meeting or if any one of you do, then it's going to be at a little bit of a distance, but the speaker picks up well and maybe even bring in an additional speaker too. Could be helpful so that everybody can hear as we speak. In the room, can you know how it is a big U right now? Is that desk movable where it could come close together?
Yes.
It could, right? So you're sitting opposite of each other. Would that work?
Tables are all movable. Yeah.
They're movable. Okay, so they could come together. We sit on both sides, kind of closer, so that the screen could actually be facing forward, but we would see everybody lined up, right? Whoever is there. Okay, let's plan for that next meeting in May, and then I'll bring my webcam and my laptop. I think that should work out better, and I'll see if I can bring a speaker as well, so everybody can hear better. Okay, so that's the plan for May, and then for June, it's still set for June 17th, and Joe O'Connell said he will host it in Hilo at their conference room that has all their IT equipment already set up to have a hybrid like this. We just need to confirm, I guess, with who can travel. And Jeff, you got the response already.
I have all the response. There's 4 of us traveling. I think it was you. I don't have the name. I think it was you, me, Anthony, and Charles traveling. The 2 Allens are not traveling. But I know I've asked this before, but what does AG stand for?
Attorney General.
Why is that on there for traveling for the Neighbor Island meeting?
But that was an option. Erin, will you be traveling, or now the option is can Zoom? Yeah, so that's a good thing. Erin, you want to travel to Big Island? Do we have to budget that?
No, not at this time. Thank you, though.
Yeah, so that was part of there. So I guess we can take that off, Jeff.
Okay, we'll do.
Then I guess 1 van works as well. Yeah, so that's got to be some. Instead of waiting, we should submit for all of us who are traveling in May and June. We should allow send that to Henny already, so she takes care of that 1 crack for us.
I have a question. Just trying to be on top of things for the next fiscal year for July, since you've done this before, but how does travel plans work for July? Assuming the meeting's on Oahu.
Good question. We just booked it. We just asked Henny, knowing that we had confirmation we had a budget, and then we adjusted it from there.
Has our budget been determined yet for next fiscal year?
Mari, and to my knowledge, yes, 16,000. Was
Where
for
is
the
that?
2 year.
Where is that actually stated?
We have emails from DHS.
Okay, thanks.
Looking forward to you. Correct me, Mari, any feedback? And then also along with
For the budget, or is it for the travel, or both? As to my feedback.
Oh, Mari, are you traveling with us? No, right? You can zoom in, right?
What did they say? Oh, the next year's budget should be, well, it's in the final 2 weeks, so of the legislative session. So at the end of next week, we will know what's passed and final. And at this point, I don't think there's going to be any significant change in the dollar amount. So we can assume, although assumption is not always good, assume the budget is in and being able to start expending whatever as of July 1st for the next fiscal year, which starts as of July 1. So for July travel, if you already know the July date, I would start preparing travel approval form or travel prep with Henny, perhaps early June, just so that she's aware. And during the summer months, traditionally, folks take some, leave time. So making sure that doesn't coincide with, let's say, Henny's time off, if she plans to do that. So it's all about kind of preparing way in advance.
Okay.
And also for the June travel, since the meeting is scheduled for June 17, and that's very close to the end of the year. Like the earlier conversation or discussion about the unexpended budget. So since the meeting is already scheduled, assuming it's a go, you may want to consider already making that reservation on the airplane, I mean airfare. Well, not reservation, but basically starting the paperwork
Okay, got it. Yeah, got it, got it.
and make sure that gets in time
Okay,
to be posted or paid within that state fiscal year timeframe.
Okay.
And I'll check in with Henny as well.
okay, got it, got it. And then you'll work, in closing, you'll work with Jeff on making sure that any allocated items, there's a PO process, that an encumbered process is done so that we're not pushing it over to the next year. Did they freeze? That's correct, right? Okay. Okay, sounds good. And then I will let Joel know that not only to confirm the 17th in Hilo, that he needs to make sure that he has a place, but also to forward his information to Henny. Okay, executive session necessary? I don't think so. Okay, not needed. So NA there. And then any closing remarks? Like 30-second closing remark, anybody? I hear he's pounding. If not, thank you for being here today. I appreciate everybody. Keep working with each other. Aaron, thank you for all that you do for us. And you too, Mimori, thank you. And if not, then we will.
I can make a motion to
Yep.
close the meeting for April.
I second.
Wolfark and Cardenas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yes, aye. No one opposed. Therefore, meeting adjourned at 3:34 on the 22nd of April. Thanks, everybody.
All right, everybody. Aloha.
Have a good
Bye.
weekend.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Aloha.